browser. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's SIG Autoscaling discussion. We are here on behalf of Kubernetes and CNCF, and we abide by the code of conduct. So thanks in advance for being respectful and welcoming all voices. Without further ado, let's get to our brief agenda, and then we can open up for any general discussion. Looks like Omer has a agenda item about a work in progress kept for HPA. Omer, are you on the call? If not, I'll go ahead and click through and just use this as a public service announcement.
Yeah, I don't see him.
So I took a brief look at this yesterday, and I'm happy to call out a review. But just for anybody who's interested, looks like he's working on an enhancement proposal to introduce some fallback for horizontal pod autoscaling if metrics retrieval isn't there. So because it's work in progress and a draft PR, I think it just dropped. I'm not going to attempt to figure this out in real time, but just a heads up for anybody who is interested in this. I would anticipate best case scenario this would land in 136. Okay, I will pause for any ad hoc items, and then I can think of a few things to announce here. But does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss that's not on the agenda? Hey, Mike.
I guess was there any follow-up that we needed to do on that the cluster API PR that you're looking at? I think like I'm okay to close the 1.33 and not worry about backporting it further than that.
So Mike is referring to this is something that he and I have been discussing, and I'll contextualize this with some stuff about CI that I was going to talk about. So we landed a PR, which is strictly speaking, I think, a change in the cluster API provider, but based on previous understandings, we can classify those as eligible for backports for provider-only code. So I went through and backported it to 134, which required me to backport some recent CI changes to enable tests to run. But the 133 backport, this is it right here. The 133 backport is going to require a bunch of gnarly changes. So just from a public service announcement standpoint, again, Mike and I are planning on closing this and saying it's not worth the effort. But if anybody wants to dig through how to properly unit test this in the 133 branch, Mike and I can review it.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting too that although this is a bug in the cluster API provider, it is not like a critical bug. There is a workaround for this behavior. So users can use the like override annotations, we call them, to be able to give this information. So it's not, I think the reason for not taking it back further is just the complexity of code change. I don't think, it's like not worth the squeeze, basically.
Okay, cool. And yeah, let me segue a little bit into CI. So Adrian and Omar have been doing a bunch of great work in VPA, and I actually don't want to lay the blame on VPA necessarily, but Adrian was the first to notice that the shared CI file container that was used to run both cluster autoscaler and VPA test and Go verification shell scripts was regularly running into resource contention for storage. So the three of us have been splitting out those into separate VPA and CI jobs. Actually, I think it's not Prow, it's GitHub Actions, so sorry about that. But anyway, originally it was a single GitHub action that ran all of the stuff for both VPA and cluster autoscaler against basically any PR that touched VPA or cluster autoscaler. So while that may have been convenient to have a single place to maintain that, it wasn't really making sense. And then again, as I said, we were actually running into storage failures. So we split that out and still in the process of backporting all of that into the various release branches that we support. So I haven't seen anyone struggle with this because I've been kind of trying to do this heads down. But if you have any trouble backporting anything into the release branches while we're doing this, reach out to me or Adrian or Omer for questions, and we can get you there. But there's still a couple more branches that we need to put those changes into to enable required tests to actually run on those older branches and get backports merged. Any questions on any of that? Cool. Kuba, you and I can figure out how to cancel next week's meeting. Next week is KubeCon. If you're there in Atlanta, come to the autoscaling breakout on Wednesday. It'll be myself and an AWS engineer talking about Carpenter. And we'll follow the normal pattern and cancel next week's meeting because we'll have some lack of maintainer availability.
I mean, hopefully I'll
Okay.
be there as well. So like, I'll at least cruise by and say hi or something at the meet and greet.
I'll see you somewhere in the halls, Mike.
Let's hope so.
Okay. Going once, going twice.
I will note Omer is here now. Did we want to go back to his topic real quickly or just see if there's any follow?
Thank you for calling that out. Omer, I briefly just talked about this at a super high level. Do you want to share any more information on this, Cap?
No, it's basically a work in progress. You can also share your feedback and see also already Gene review it. And it's for not for 136, it's for one not the next release, the release after. So we have a lot of time. So if anyone has some time to share, to spend, please review it.
Great. Okay. I think everybody gets 20 minutes back of your time.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.